Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss High School Musical 2. This premiered August 17th, 2007 on the Disney Channel. I think it still is the most watched Disney Channel original film, like in its original airing. I think. I could be wrong, but I think it still holds that title all these years later. So this takes place the summer after their junior year of high school. In the first film, we didn't actually know if they were sophomores or juniors, but in this one, we know that they are just finishing out their junior year, going to start out their senior year. So, summer 2007, I was 17. The characters in the film are technically 17, about to start their senior year. I was about to start my senior year of high school. So, this was a straight up millennial film. I was literally the age of these characters portraying the actors portraying these characters, because none of them were actually 17 when this was, actually filmed. So this is straight up pure to heart, pure to home. This is when you watch it on Disney Plus, because that's where I just watched it. It has the added deleted scene of the musical number Huma Huma Nuku Nuku Apua which pushes it to like a 2-hour mark. The original release was like an hour 45, hour 44, something like that. So with the deleted scene, which is very cringeworthy to watch now compared to then, it's about 2 hours. It's long, but it's the summer after, they just finished their junior year. So we have the "What Time Is It?" Summertime. We have that song in the beginning. We're back at East High for a very brief second. It took them 4 days to film the beginning of the show, the beginning of the movie, at East High, which is a pretty neat fun fact. So this came out August 07. They actually filmed this March of 07. So it was very cold when they actually filmed it, portraying the summer. So they're in the pool, they're in their swimsuits and stuff, freezing, but movie magic makes it look like it's hot out. So it's very interesting. Fun little facts of that. So the East High Wildcats get jobs at Lava Springs Country Club, which is owned by Ryan and Sharpay Evans' parents. So we get their parents in the show as well, which is pretty neat. We have the Wildcats working, but then Sharpay is trying to steal Troy away, basically. She gets him this interview, she gets him that job promotion, she gets him this meeting with this head of U of A, University of Albuquerque, for Troy to join the basketball team. But he's starting to change, and he's starting to become a little snobby, and he's starting to disregard, plans with friends and missing dates with Gabriella and all these different things. And then Chad and him have a little fight in the kitchen, and they verbal fight, not physical fight, because this is rated TVG. And then Troy realizes that he has changed, and he doesn't like that he's changed, and he doesn't like how Sharpay's been treating him nor his friends, and he's done with it. So he revokes his promotions, goes back to his original kitchen job, and then they all sing happily ever after at the end. So that's the basic plot summary. What's neat about this is you see the bloopers at the end. You have Ryan switching sides of working with his sister against the Wildcats and then becoming a Wildcat, working against his sister, and then everybody works together at the end, the All for One song at the end. Very neat, very fun. Great one-liners. This movie is memed so many times. The bet on it scene of Zac Efron playing Troy Bolton, screaming, running around the golf course, screaming, bet on it, bet on it. It's just constantly memed, absolutely hysterical. My favorite recent meme from this, because, again, millennials now are well-versed in political correctness, we're well-versed in certain terms which didn't exist back then, or we're more open to spectrums of gender, sexuality, things of that nature, right? One of the most recent memes of this particular movie is that there's no heterosexual reason why Ryan and Corbin Blue's character of Chad switched clothes at the end of the I Don't Dance baseball scene, because they do. And yeah, you don't notice it back then, and you're like, okay, that's funny, they switched clothes. But then you're thinking about it, and you're thinking more on the psychology of it. What was the part? Why did they switch clothes? There is no heterosexual reason why they switched clothes. Hysterical. Now, I mentioned before that the Huma Huma Nuku Nuku Apua song, right, which is the state fish of Hawaii, that song is all about a tiki princess meeting this fish, and she kisses the fish and he becomes a prince, right? It is straight up cultural appropriateness, and it's very hard to watch now, because you're like, oh my god, how did they do that back then? But the scene never technically made it into the film. The only way you saw that scene of Sharpay singing to Troy, Sharpay and her female friend singing to Troy, well, Brian was in it too, is that it was a deleted scene on the DVD release, and it wasn't in the actual final cut. But on the Disney Plus version, it is in the full of the movie. Bloopers at the end are hysterical and wonderful, but watching that scene now does not bode well. It's not a thing that should have existed. But this was '07, and those rules didn't exist back then, or those things weren't openly discussed back then. But I'm glad we can openly discuss that now, that it's not an appropriate thing to do. I don't have the proper terms as to what I'm trying to vocalize, except for it's not a proper thing to do. I'm just going to leave it at that. On a different change of pace, still within the film itself, this had a lot of merchandise. So comparatively, because I'm a collector, I've been collecting many a things for many a decades, right? So when the first film came out, there was only X amount of toys, X amount of items, released to the market. But because of the fandom that started, they had to push out a lot of stuff. So Christmas season '06, holiday season '06, there was a lot more stuff. And then when the film came out in summer '07, there was so many different dolls. I think Mattel, yeah, made the toys for this. So many different dolls of the characters, and not just the basic 6 characters. There were the other characters as well. You had Kelsey. I think you had Zeke in the High School Musical 2 garb as well. Kelsey and Zeke were in their prom stuff for the third film. And I had those dolls and I sold them, and I'm still upset that because they were so cool. I really wish I still had them. One of these days I'll have to invest back in them. New in the box, never opened. The eight characters all together. But that was a really big thing. Like, you could not find these toys anywhere summer '07. Leading up to the fall, leading up to Christmas season, holiday season of '07, you could not find them. If you had to find them, you had to pay someone to wait on a line for them. You had to, do bidding wars via eBay. There was only eBay back then. There wasn't all the other sites that there are now. But I remember it. I remember seeing one of the toys in Target, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that's here. Like, I was genuinely shocked because you couldn't find it anywhere. It was very entertaining. It was nice seeing it. But being the age of the characters, getting the whole Every Day, right? That song at the middle end, that was cute. Having the 8 of them just stand around and watch the shooting stars and then dance through the sprinklers. I thought that was pretty cute. Another fun thing about the movie was that there was a vote that you wanted to, you were going to vote to see who your favorite Disney star was that was going to do a cameo in it. And Miley Cyrus won, of course, because this was during the Hannah Montana era as well. And so she had a very brief cameo at the very end when they're singing All for One. And the choreographer, Charles, whose name I can't remember, the last name I can't remember, he's dancing with Miley, and he plays a basketball character, a basketball team member in the first film. But Charlie's in this as well. He's in the second song, Work This Out, which is my favorite song of the entire film. But he and Miley were dancing at the end. But I thought that was funny. She had a literal 2-second cameo, and there was a whole big vote for Disney Channel about it. And all these memories are flooding back. I remember watching it with my family. Premiered August 17th, '07. Like, so many good memories, so many things we've learned from this, so many things we should not replicate ever again. But the bloopers just really bring a joy and smile to my face. You could tell they really enjoyed making this film, and that's what it's all about. Enjoying what you do, loving the people that you're surrounded with, and having fun while doing it. As long as you're safe, happy, and healthy, that's all that matters. What team? Wildcats. Wildcats. Get your head in the game. Mucho mahalo.